Hi guys, and welcome back to this week's vlog. You will have seen by the thumbnail, but you'll be able to tell I'm at home. This means it's going to be an update vlog regarding Mittens. So the last time I done an updated vlog for you all, I told you guys that Mittens was lame, and originally the vet thought she had done something in her front fetlock. So she was on box rest for 2 weeks, basically to see if she had improved with her lameness when the vet next comes out. Well, when the vet next come out, she was actually worse, but it was a completely different lameness to the first time that the vet saw her, and it was put down to laminitis the second time. So she has been on box rest for 4 weeks since then, and we have taken away her breakfast and her dinner. And we've been soaking her hay for 12 hours, and she's been having a lot less hay, and she's been having no treats or nothing. She's literally just been living on hay. And within 2 weeks we noticed a massive difference with her weight. She was still porky, she still needed to lose weight, but she'd lost weight. That was what we wanted, obviously. And obviously she's not gonna go on a diet and the next day you're going to wake up skinny and like the perfect weight, because that's not what happens. It doesn't happen for us either. It takes a while to lose a decent amount of weight. So we wasn't expecting within the 2 weeks Mittens was going to be down to the perfect weight, but we just wanted to see a difference with her, to see that she had dropped a bit of weight, basically, which she had done. So obviously continuing on with her hay, soaking it, and without the breakfast and dinner, and giving her the treats, still restricting her, still on box rest. We brought her back out the stable and walked her up and trotted her, and she was a completely different pony. She still wasn't sound, but she wasn't footy anymore, and although she wasn't sound, she was walking out, which she hadn't been doing beforehand, so that was like really good news. So we obviously just continued putting her on box rest. She still needed time. Obviously still doing the diet with her. Updating the vet, like sending her videos and things. And just each week we would get her out and do a walk and trot up, and she was improving each time, which was just amazing. And then we have been noting a few months prior to her going lame that one of Mittens' front hoofs, which was the same leg that she was laying on, her hoof was like spread out. It's hard to explain, and we mentioned it to the farrier, and he didn't seem overly concerned with it because it wasn't affecting Mittens at the time, because at this point she wasn't lame when we mentioned it to him. He didn't seem too concerned about it, and obviously he knows way more than us. We just noticed that it looked different to normal, so we just wanted to ask him, but he didn't seem bothered, so we just continued on. But the last time Mittens had the vet out, which was probably about, not vet, the farrier, sorry, which was probably about 3-4 weeks ago, he said, I'm gonna sort this front foot out. And obviously we were telling him that she was lame and things, and he also said that he couldn't see any bruising with the laminitis or anything. It didn't, when he was looking at her hoof, it didn't actually show that she had laminitis, but that doesn't obviously mean to say that she didn't have laminitis, because she did have laminitis, but he just couldn't see it, like the bruising or it coming out on the hoof, if that makes sense. But he's corrected her front hoofs, especially the one that we noticed that was spreading out. He's brought them back a lot further. He's basically cut them back shorter, and he's put 2 front side clips on the front hoofs. And he did say to us, look, for a few days she might be really badly lame. It's nothing to worry about. It's normal. It's just because I've recorrected her hoofs and I've made them a lot shorter to what she's used to and changed the shoes. So don't worry about it. She'll be fine after a few days. So yeah, we left her obviously for a few days, and we brought her back out in the stable. I think it was about after a week from the farrier coming out, and she was walking so well. Like, she looked sound to us, which was just brilliant. So we've been taking videos each time we get her out of the stable and sending it to the vet, and the vet saw her and said she's looking really good. She said just give her another week to make sure that she stays sound, and then all being well, if she's still sound, then get on her, because she wants me to get on her as soon as possible because of her weight. It's going to help keep her weight down. So yeah, she said just give her another week off, make sure she's happy and still sound, and if she is, get on her and start riding her out. So we gave it another week, and when the vet said, yeah, really happy with her, give her another week just to make sure that she stays sound before you get on her, which is what we was doing, I actually went away for the weekend. So my mum was left to do the horses, and I come back on the Sunday, like late afternoon, went down to the yard because I wanted to take Dan out for a ride. And when me and my mum got to the yard, so basically my mum was in charge of the horses while I was away, and when I went down the yard, Mittens was laid down in her stable. Didn't think anything of it because, like, sometimes it is quite normal for us to go up there and Mittens will be laid down. Like, it's nothing out of character for her, so I wasn't really concerned. And when we got her, we saw her laid down and she got back up again, so was not concerned about it at all. I was like, oh, she's just having like a nice little afternoon snooze. I tacked Dan up and took him out for a ride, and we didn't go out for too long just because we were losing light. And Mittens was still in her stable, and she was up when I left. And then when I come back, because I wasn't worrying, I was thinking, didn't think anything of it sort of thing. I took Dan back into the stable, untacked him, put his rug back on, went over to see Mitts, and she was laid down again. And I found that very strange because, yes, I know horses can get up and then lay back down again, but that was so out of character for Mittens. I just knew that wasn't right. So I looked at her, and when I was looking at her, I was like, you don't look right. I think, I'm pretty certain you are colicking. Her nostrils, the way she was breathing was just very strange. They were just really large, and she was just breathing very differently to normal, and she just didn't look right. So I quickly got the head collar, got her up, and she didn't really want to get up. She wasn't worried about her hay net. She wasn't worried about eating or anything. When she stood up, you could just see in her eyes, she just did not look right at all. She just looked really uncomfortable. She kept doing this weird thing with her back legs as well, which is something that is signs for colic, and again, that's something she doesn't do. So at this point I was like, she's colicking. So we rang the vet up and spoke to her and explained her symptoms, and she was like, yeah, she does sound like she's colicking. She said, by the sounds of it, it's not really bad. It sounds like we've caught it very early on. So she said, if you've got some bute, syringe some bute into her. So we syringed the bute into her. She said, and you need to keep her walking. She said it's going to take a good hour for the bute to get into her system for her to start feeling better. She said, so you need to keep her walking so she doesn't obviously roll and get her gut twisted. So we gave her the bute, and then I took her out into sound school, and we walked her for the whole hour in the school. After that hour, I brought her back into the stable just to see what she was going to be like. The vet said if she changes while you're walking around, then call her up and she will come out. But if she doesn't hear anything from us, then she'll call us in an hour and a half to find out how Mittens is, basically. So Mittens, we just brought her back into the stable, and she was a different horse. She went straight to her net. She was eating. She had a poo. She was so much better. The vet called us back up, and I told her, look, she's eating now. Her breathing was back to normal. She looked better in her eyes. She'd gone for a poo. She was so much better. I said, we're still going to obviously stay here and monitor her. At this point, I think it was about 9 o'clock in the evening. So she said, yeah, that's fine. She said, give her a little bit less hay than what she would normally have. And yeah, if you just monitor her to make sure she's okay. If she changes again, then obviously call back up and she'll come out. But it seems as we've got it under control, and we've caught it very early, thankfully. So we stayed with her for, I think we stayed there till about 12:30 a.m. Made sure she was okay, and she'd done more poos, and she was eating, and she had a drink, and she was just more herself. So we felt comfortable. We'd been there for a good 3-4 hours, and in that time she had eaten and pooed and that. We were happy to go home and leave her, and we was going back up there 5 a.m. in the morning anyway. So yeah, we left her. We felt happy to, and yeah, we come up in the morning and she'd done poos again and she seemed fine. So thankfully we got it just in time. I think probably if we got there half an hour later, it could have been a different scenario. But yeah, it was a very stressful time. And to be honest, I think the reason why she got colic is because she's only allowed a certain amount of hay. With dieting, we don't like to not give her anything to eat in her stable because of ulcers, and we think that is the wrong way to do it, is to starve them with no hay or no food. So we always like to make sure she's got food, but we just only give her certain amounts. And we think she was obviously wanting to bulk herself out more, so she ate a massive load of her straw bed typically, and we think that might be what's caused it, is that she ate a lot of her straw bed. She had fresh new bedding in the morning, and when we went up there in the evening, we had noticed that her straw bed had gone down quite a lot, so we think she'd been stood in there munching on the straw, and we think that's what might have caused the colic. So since then we have got some spray. I can't remember, Jason's fluid it might be called, I can't really remember, but we asked the vet if we would be okay to spray that, because obviously we didn't want to spray it and then poison her if she was to munch on it again. But she said no, that's absolutely fine to spray the bed. So we now spray the bed with, I think it's called Jason's fluid, all over the straw bed, and we do that every time we put in fresh now. But yeah, she's thankfully got over that. Mittens has never ever had colic before in her life. It was her first time having it. But yeah, we're pretty certain it's because she ate a lot of the straw bed. But yeah, thankfully she was okay. We had to obviously give her the week anyway, to make sure that she was still going to stay sound before I got on her. But obviously with her having the colic, even if I could have gotten her that week, we wanted to give her a bit of time to just get over it, because although she was fine like the next day, and like she's been fine since, touch wood, thankfully, obviously it is like quite a big thing that we would have given her the time off anyway, if that makes sense. I don't know why I'm making it such a difficult thing to come out with. But yeah, so she had to have the week off anyway, so she did. And then we sent a video of her walking out after the week of her still being sound, sent it to the vet to be like, you know, we've given her the week, she's still sound, are you happy for me to get on her now? Which she got back and said, yeah, I'm happy for you to get on her, see how she is, ride her for the week and make sure she stays sound. If all good, then obviously just continue to get on her and start walking around. Now obviously I'm not going to get on her and just be like, right Mitz, let's go and get you fit. That is not the case at all. She's been off work really since Christmas Eve, to be honest, and obviously that's quite a while. We're now in March now. She will have lost all of her fitness. She's been in a stable, she literally has done nothing. I want to obviously make sure she's sound and things. So taking her back to last Tuesday, I got on her for the first time, which she was so excited. When she saw the tap come to her stable door, her ears pricked and was like, oh, I'm going out. And I got on her and we went for a little ride just around the smallest housing estate that we've got, and we just walked all of it, and she come back sound, so was absolutely buzzing. And I've taken her out every single day since, just around the housing estates, not going too far, still walking, and she is going amazing. She's feeling fantastic, which is just honestly the best news ever. Like, I'm absolutely buzzing. And I'm going to be riding her today, and she will have been ridden for 7 days. Tomorrow will be a week when I first got back on her. I'm going to be doing, so once I get to the week tomorrow, 2 more weeks of walk work, and then I'll start doing a little bit of trotting with her, and making sure she's okay with that. All being well, then I will just carry on with her obviously, and then start getting her fit. But I'm not gonna like rush into anything, if you know what I mean. So she's going to be doing 3 weeks of walk work, not going far, just around the housing estates. Then I'll start doing a little bit of trotting around the housing estates, and then I'll start making the rides slightly longer, and then gradually getting her up to the point where we can start doing canter work and get her back in to normal work, all being well. Obviously, if anything changes when I start riding her, then obviously I'll stop and we'll get the vet out. But I am just honestly just buzzing about her. So that is basically Mittens' update. I am back on her. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen, because I put a post up and I've been putting videos up of me riding her behind her ears. So I'm super excited now that I've got both my ponies back in work, and yeah, we've got another 2 weeks of walking mitts before I start bringing the bit of trot work in. But I'm really excited, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to the summer with both of my ponies. So I will insert some of the clips that I've got behind Mittens' ears. I'm afraid they are portrait, so apologies. And yeah, she's been a bit sassy, guys. The first 2 rides I had on her, she was actually a really good girl, but yeah, she's been a bit sassy, a bit silly, but I'm not going to complain because it means that she's feeling well. And yesterday when I got on Dan, because I always ride him first, I took him to do some pole work, and I got on him, and as I was leading him out the stable to get on him, Mittens was kicking the door as if to say, well, hello, I'm here, I want to go riding. Which is really funny because that's what she always used to do. That before she went lame, I would always take Dan out beforehand, and she'd always kick the door when I would bring him out to get on him, as if to say, me. So it's really nice to know that, you know, she's wanting to be ridden. She's really enjoying it. Her ears are forward when I'm riding her. She's feeling great. Her ears prick when I bring the tack to her, and she just seems so much happier. Like, her eyes are just more like lit up, and she just seems so much happier. The vet said to us not to turn her out in the field yet, so she's still technically on box rest, if you can call it. She's still not going out in the field. She's staying in her stable, because she wants her to be in more work than what she's doing, because just walking, like poodling around the block for 20 minutes or however long it takes me, it isn't enough work for her. Like, if she goes out in the field for an hour, that's like she will have eaten her whole intake of food, if that makes sense, and then obviously she's going to blow up again. So she wants Mittens to be back in like full work, in the sense of trotting and cantering and going further, and then Mittens will be able to go back out in the field. But from now on, Mittens is going to be having soaked hay. It's still going to be continued to be soaked for 12 hours. And also another thing that we spoke to the vet about, and I had the chiropractor out for Danny, and she was asking how Mittens was, and we was telling her, and she's got a pony that's got EMS as well, and she said that Mittens could have some food as long as it's low calories, and we've spoken to the vet about it, and the vet was happy for us to do it as well. And she also told us something to give Mittens that we actually now give to Danny and Dawn. It prevents them from getting colic. So I don't want to say to you guys, if you feed your ponies this, your ponies are never going to have colic, because that's not the case at all. There is still a chance that your horses can still get colic. You're never going to stop your horses from having colic. But it's basically this food. It's called pink mash, and it's got beetroot in it, and you have to soak it. We soak it with warm water, and it only takes like 5 minutes to soak. You give 2 little like supplement scoops, 2 of them, and then you soak it, and it's basically got beetroot in, and it's really good for the horse's hind gut, and it makes your horse's gut healthy, and it prevents your horses from getting colic. So I'm not saying it stops your horse from getting colic, but it basically prevents it, and it gives your horse a really healthy hind gut. And the chiropractor was telling us that it's really good for them, and there is nothing fattening in it. It's all healthy stuff for them, and it's good for horses to prevent them with colic, basically. And she feeds her horse it. So that day we went and bought some, and I actually give it to Danny and Dawn as well, because it doesn't hurt them having it. So she's having that, and she has that morning and evening. And then she has top spec 0 Top Chop, I want to say it's called, which she has been on before. She just has a tiny bit of that, like hardly anything. She just has a bit of that. And then she also has a balancer so that she's getting all the minerals, vitamins and nutrients that she needs into her diet, which is, I think that's a top spec one as well. I want to say that's top spec. And it's the light one, which is for horses with laminitis. So the food that she is getting is for laminitic ponies. Obviously, all feeds have calories in, the same as food that we eat. Whatever we eat has got calories in, but we have got the food for her that is for laminitis, and we've passed it through with the vet, and the vet said because she is having less hay, and because it is very low, she is happy for her to have it, but just don't obviously give her too much of it, which we're not. And also we like to give Mittens turmeric. All our horses are on turmeric supplement, and Mittens wasn't getting any of the supplements, so by her having her food she is able to have the supplements. So she's been having her breakfast and dinner now for probably, I think it's about 2 weeks today, so not too long yet. She's not having a lot of it, and the vet is happy for us to give it to her. So that is the news with Mitts. So I'm super excited, and yeah, this is just a little update for you all to say I am back on her. Whoop whoop, so good. And stay tuned because I will be vlogging some vlogs with Mitts. Don't want this vlog to be too long, but I'll make sure I insert the little clips that I've got of her. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. The next vlog you guys are going to see is a really exciting vlog because I'm going to do something with Dan, and I'm just so excited to do it, and I'm doing it this week on Saturday, so the vlog will be out one day next week. I am super duper excited. So stay tuned because I feel like you guys are going to be very happy to see something different, because I have had a few comments like, show us what you're doing such and such. So it is happening this week, but like I said, the vlog won't be out until one day next week, so please stay tuned. But I have also got some news which I'm so excited. It's very daunting, very scary, can't believe I'm actually doing it. It is literally such a dream. It's come out of nowhere, and I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I just feel super lucky. And I haven't started it yet, but I am starting it again this week on Thursday, and I'm hoping to be able to bring you guys along this summer on the odd days if I'm able to, because it's just going to be amazing, and I also want it for my own memories as well. So oh god, where do I start? So basically I've left my job, which is sad. I left on Friday just gone, and it's so out of the blue because I am starting a new job that I never thought in a million years I would have this opportunity or be doing. It's just incredible, and yeah, so exciting. But also, you guys know what it's like when you start a new job. It's always daunting, it's always nerve-wracking until you've done like the first few weeks and you get into it and you get used to your new job and things. So yeah, it is a little bit scary, but I don't know why I'm scared because I have no reason for it to be scary. But it's kind of natural. Everyone gets a little bit nervous when you start a new job, but also because my job that I've just left, I've been there for over a year, so it's like coming away from something that I'm used to doing Monday to Friday every day to now doing something completely different, but doing something that I am very passionate about and I absolutely love. So yeah, it's kind of weird how it come about. So it's been going on for about a month. I went trail hunting, which I brought you guys along. I rode intern, and someone said to a friend of mine, would Millie be interested in grooming for my daughter? And they mentioned it to me, and I didn't really like, I wasn't like yes, or I don't know, I just didn't really like take it in. I was like, oh yeah, maybe, but didn't realise what an amazing opportunity it was actually going to be, and just kind of left it, carried on for the rest of the day for my ride, and didn't really think much of it. a few days went on and I had a phone call from my friend to be like, look, they want your phone number to give you a call and speak to you for you to go over and meet them. Are you happy for me to give them your number? And I was like, yeah, like I'll speak to them about it. Like it doesn't hurt, doesn't necessarily mean to say that I need to take it, but just find out a bit more information. Like it's not gonna hurt. And how I thought it was going to be is it's basically a little eventing yard. It's not like a massive eventing yard. It's not like a 5-star rider or anything like that, but it's basically a lady that wants to event. She wants to go to badminton grassroots, and she basically needs some help because she lives out in Africa. So she's like half and half down here and then half over Africa as well, and obviously she doesn't have the time to be getting her horses ready and everything. And how I thought it was I would be just grooming for her, going to the events with her, platting, getting the horses ready, helping her out at the events, and then when she's over in Africa I'll be just mucking out and things. So they took my number. I had a phone call the next day, was talking to her, and she said, like, you'll be coming away to all the events grooming for me. I want you to ride, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. And they were like, I want you to school. And when she said that, I thought, nah, this is not the job for me. I'd absolutely love to do it, but I'm not experienced enough. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it. Like, you're going to see me ride and you're going to think, no, she's not good enough for the job. She said, would you be able to come and meet me? I was like, yeah. So I went on the Sunday to meet her. She said, bring your riding stuff. And I thought we were just going for a nice hack, to be honest. I get there and she's like, right, let's tack up. So I tacked up her horse, bearing in mind it's a 3-star event horse. May I just add that she got last June. I was like, wow. She's like, we're going in the school. I was thinking, oh my God, there's no way. No way. I haven't got the job. Like, this is going to let me down doing the schooling. So I tacked him up. I got on him. We went into the school. And obviously it's very daunting. Like, I always find when people watch you ride, I don't particularly like it, to be honest, which I know it's crazy because I go showing and things, but I don't like it. And obviously I find it even worse because it's not even my horse that I'm riding someone else's horse, so I feel like I'm getting judged even more because I'm scared that I'm going to ruin the horse or something. Or they're thinking, just get off my horse, sort of thing. So I find it really daunting knowing that, like, I'm actually riding this horse for them to see if I'm good enough to have this job or not. So I find that even more nerve-wracking. So I'm like, she's going to be watching every little detail I do to make sure I'm capable enough and good enough to have this job. And obviously it's her horse, I don't want to ruin it and things. So it was crazy. But I went in there, she was like, he can do half passes, he can do all of this. I was like, that is way out of my league. And she said, no, like, I'll talk you through it. So I was doing half passes with some rumba or rum, I don't know what it's called, but he's such a nice horse, 3-star event horse. I've never ridden something so experienced and so well schooled. He's like 16 too, so he's massive as well. So I was going through that. I was doing leg yielding with him, and I honestly rode my socks off, guys. I don't know where my riding come from. Like, even if I do say so myself, I was going around thinking, how am I doing this? How am I doing this? She was like, do a serpentines. If someone tells me to do a serpentines on Dan, it is shocking. It doesn't even look like a serpentines. And I was doing the serpentines and I was thinking, I can't even do a serpentines properly. Like, this is just not for me. And she was like, beautiful, lovely. And I was thinking to myself, did I just do that? Did I just ride a serpentines? And I said to her, I'm not very good at doing serpentines. Did I do it properly? She was like, yeah, that was fine. I was thinking, why can't I do this at home on my own horses? I was literally riding my socks off, and she was telling me to do stuff like I can't even do a proper 20-meter circle. Like, I'll do a 20-meter circle. It doesn't even look like a 20-meter circle. And she was like, do a 20-meter circle. And I was thinking, no. And she was like, beautiful. And I'm thinking, where is my riding coming from? Like, and the first thing she said to me before I got on our horse, she was like, I know he's a 3-star event horse. She said, but he's not easy. He's not a push button. You do not sit there. You do not just sit there and he does all the work for you. She said, he's actually quite hard. You've really got to get him going, and he can be quite lazy in the school when you this, that and the other. And I was thinking, well, I've blown it. There's no chance. Like, there's literally no chance. I don't have the experience of schooling because I do showing and things, but like, Dan is a completely different horse to what I was riding, and Dan isn't very well schooled, and Dan is very hard to ride in the school, believe it or not, and people don't realise that until they ride him. And you know, I've never ever ridden such an experienced horse in my whole entire life, so it was such a new thing for me. And yeah, it was just incredible, and I rode him and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was honestly like I was sat on clouds, you know. It was just insane, and I was just smiling the whole time because I was like, wow, like I'm just so lucky. And I was just thinking to myself, well, if I don't get the job, at least I've experienced riding a 3-star event horse. That's all I was thinking. I was just absolutely loving it. I was just taking it all in because I didn't think in a million years that she would be like, yeah, you can do this, because I just generally didn't think I was good enough. And knowing that when she's over in Africa, I'm going to have to be schooling and doing all this stuff, I was thinking I'm not experienced enough. So I was just soaking it all in, riding this amazing horse, because I was thinking this is probably going to be my last time riding him. And I just absolutely loved it. And then when I finished, she was like, oh, do you want to ride my mum's horse? I was like, okay. So I rode her horse, who is really well schooled as well, like really well schooled. Again, I've never ridden something so well schooled as well. And I was schooling that, and that was just lovely. And I was just like, where is this riding coming from? Like, I literally had no idea how I was blown away with my own riding, because I was like, this is not me. This is not me riding this horse. How am I getting this horse to do this? Like, it was just incredible. And then at the end, she was like, so I'm really pleased with how you rode both of the horses. You rode lovely. Like, do you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, if you think I'm good enough to do it. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, this is just mental. And it was just the best feeling ever. So that is what I'm going to be doing. I am going to be going away this summer to eventing with this lady. Obviously, she's going to be doing the competing side, and I'm going to be the groom, getting horses ready for the events, you know, helping her out when we're there. And it's just going to be amazing. She's going to be doing some stairway shows, and then just some just 1-day shows, and I'm going to be going to them all with her, which is just the most amazing experience ever. I've never experienced going eventing before, so I'm really looking forward to it. And obviously this is a whole new chapter for me. I've got a lot to learn and things, but I'm so willing to do it, and I'm so excited to do it. And it's just such a dream. I never imagined that I would have this experience or opportunity, and I just felt stupid to turn it down. So I've took it, and it's very scary, but really, really exciting. And I'm also going to be riding them at hers, getting them fit. I'm going to be going to the beach twice a week galloping. What a dream. That is my job, taking horses down on the beach galloping, schooling, jumping, doing it all. It's just going to be incredible. The lady's not going to be there half the time because she's in Africa, so it's down to me. There is one other person that's around on the yard, but I'm going to be the main one doing it. But I will be able to ask for help if need be, because the other person is very knowledgeable and knows a lot more than me and older than me. So there is someone around to keep an eye on me and help me out if I need help. And if I need showing to do something, I can go to them. They're more than happy for me to do that. And yeah, it's just incredible, and I'm just super excited. And yeah, I'll be getting horses ready, getting them fit to do all of the events, and then the lady will come home from Africa, go to the events, and then I think she'll go back off to Africa, so I'll be left with the horses. So she has got one horse at the moment, which is the 3-star event horse, but he is unable to qualify to go to badminton grassroots because he's too high up in the level. So she has just bought another horse who's 6 years old that I'm also going to be riding alongside the other horse, because she is going to be still eventing the other horse. She just won't be able to do any of the qualifiers to go to badminton grassroots, but she might go higher up the level with him. I'm not really sure like that. But with the new one who's slightly younger, that's the one that we're going to try and qualify to get to badminton grassroots. I'm not sure if it will be going next year. It depends how this event season goes, because obviously it's a new horse, getting used to him, getting him ready, getting him experience, getting him going out to all of the events. He might not be going to badminton next year, but hopefully by the year after he will be going. which is super exciting. He's coming from quite far away, and he's coming from a 5-star event rider, so he's been in really good hands, which is super exciting. I haven't met him yet, but I start on Thursday, so I will be meeting him and riding him, and yeah, I'm so excited. But I wanted to tell you guys because this is a new chapter for me, and I would like to think, if I'm confident enough, to bring you guys along on one of the events of me grooming and things, because I want to look back for my own memories as well. And yeah, it's just a super cool thing that I'm going to be doing. But I'll insert videos here of me riding. He's called Bernie. I think he's 16 too, and yeah, he's the 3-star event horse, and I felt pretty lucky to be riding him, and I'm super excited because there was me riding him thinking this is my last time riding him, and I'm going to be riding him every single day, which is just incredible.
Yes, beautiful.
And one of my main concerns was, you know, obviously I have got Mittens and Dan, I want to be riding them. She's going to want to go off eventing, which is going to be amazing, and I'm going to be going to all of the events, but I do still want to go and do my own things with Mittens and Danny, and I do want to compete Dan this summer. You know, I was worried, am I actually going to have enough time to do that? Because if I'm going off eventing every weekend, like, I'm not going to be able to do it with Dan, basically. So we're not going to be out eventing every single weekend. There might be the odd month where it's really busy, but then the next month we might only go out once or twice, like once at the beginning of the month and once at the end of the month. So there is still going to be I'm still going to have plenty of time to be able to get Dan out to my own competitions and go out and have lots of fun with him, and I'm still going to have enough time to keep both of them fit and ride them throughout the week as well, which is just amazing, because that was one of my main things. If I couldn't do that with them, then I wasn't going to go forward for the job. So yeah, I'm still able to keep Dan fit, still going to be able to ride him. I'm still going to have lots of time to ride him and Mittens. I'm still going to be able to get them out to competitions as well as doing my new job. So yeah, I'm super excited for this new chapter, and I can't wait to bring you guys along as well. And yeah, it's just so surreal, and it is scary because I'm going from employed to self-employed, which is scary, but it's going to be fine, and it will be all worth it. So that is my little update, and that's Mittens' update. So yeah, super happy. This isn't a doom and gloom vlog, guys, which is really nice to know. So please make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't already, because this summer I want to get as much content as possible and bring you guys along on with everything with my horses, hopefully my job if I can do. I'm sure it won't be a problem, and yeah, just super excited. Stay tuned for the next vlog, because that's going to be the vlog where I go and do stuff with Dan. Super excited. I feel like I've said that God knows how many times, but you guys just don't understand right now. So please make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can stay tuned and see what I get up to this year, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.